Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Thursday, July 6, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comments section below. Baltimore Orioles vs New York Yankees. Tuesday's loss was Baltimore's sixth over a 7-game stretch. They still haven't been swept since May 2022, but they've been cutting it close lately. A mysteriously quiet offense is the culprit right now, with the team only playing 18 runs during those 7 games. 7 of the runs came in one game. If there's any good news, they scored 3 and then 4 to open this series. The bad news is that it wasn't enough for a win and still below their season average, which is 9th in the majors. Baltimore's lineup is well-rounded, now struggling in any one area. They need to use that versatility to become dangerous again. More problematic in this series has been Baltimore's pitching, which allowed 14 runs during the first 2 games. Their bullpen, which leads the league in WAR, allowed 4 runs in each game. The starters weren't terrible, but didn't have clean outings either. Kyle Bradish is up this time, looking to leave the Bronx with better results than his May trip. In that start, Bradish allowed 7 hits, 3 walks, and 4 runs in 5.0 innings, leading to an Orioles loss. Since then, he's been much better, including a 2.70 ERA in his last 30.0 innings pitched. He's been worse on the road and got rocked by the Yankees once. However, he's been much better since then. Which pitcher will show up? New York's offense has received a lot of flack for their performance without Aaron Judge. After a pair of productive days to open this series, it appears that some of their bats may be heating up. Home runs, especially in the Bronx, have never been an issue with the 2023 club. Their strikeout rate is also just outside of MLB's top 10. Singles, doubles, and walks have been elusive though, and solo homers don't dent scoreboards. Unlikely heroes in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Anthony Volpe, Jake Bauers, and Harrison Bader may be changing that. The Yankees also have an elite bullpen, one that's arguably the deepest in the majors. Baltimore leads in WAR from relievers, and the Yankees lead in bullpen ERA as the only group under 3.00. Getting there intact is the tough part, something that Luis Severino has lost the ability to do lately. The former All-Star has been batting practice since the calendar flipped to June, allowing 30 runs, 26 earned, over 28.2 innings. That's with a 6-inning shutout performance against MLB's top-scoring offense mixed in. During that stretch, Severino is responsible for 43 hits, 9 homers, 14 walks, and only 24 strikeouts. He's not sharp or missing bats right now. With the way Severino has been getting lit up and a bullpen behind him that shouldn't be fresh, this game has a great chance to be a runaway win for the visitors. The Orioles' recent offensive struggles are curious, but they've looked better in the Bronx this week. Against Luis Severino right now, most teams are going to jump out to a multi-run lead. Baltimore's bullpen hasn't had it in this series, but the back end is too dangerous to blow another game. Bradish has been pitching well lately, so he should keep the lead comfortable before the big guns come out to close the door. Our team pick is Baltimore Orioles minus 1.5 runs, and our total pick is over. Seattle Mariners vs Houston Astros. Seattle enters this game having won their previous series on the road against the Giants, winning the first 2 games while dropping the third. In their most recent 2-0 loss, Tommy Milone got the start in the loss for the Mariners, throwing 4.1 innings and allowing 4 hits and 4 walks that resulted in 2 runs. From then on it was a bullpen game which held the Giants scoreless for the remainder of the game. On the offensive end, the Mariners totaled 7 hits despite having no runs in the game. J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, and Cal Raleigh all had multi-hit games with 2 hits each, as the Mariners couldn't manage to get one on the board. The Mariners give right-hander George Kirby the start for Game 1 in hopes of taking an early series lead on the road against the Astros. Kirby has had a solid start to the season, posting a 7-7 record along with a 3.21 ERA and a 1.04 WHIP in those games. His most recent start came against the Rays, in which he threw 7 innings and allowed only 2 hits that resulted in 2 runs, while striking out 7. I would expect another good showing from Kirby in his upcoming start, but with a high possibility of allowing more runs given the Astros' offense. The batting lineup for the Mariners has underperformed to this point in the season, given the team's record is just under 500 with much higher aspirations. Julio Rodriguez leads the team with 87 hits, despite slashing only .25, 1.31, 2.418 in his also team-leading 347 at-bats. Ty France leads the team in average slashing .267, .33, 4.401, and J.P. Crawford leads the team in OBP with a .25, 4.36, 4.393 slash line on the season. Other than that, Teoscar Hernandez leads the team with 15 home runs, and Eugenio Suarez leads the team with 49 RBIs. However, outside of these hitters, the Mariners see little to no production. The Astros are the better team in this matchup, and I would recommend betting on them with the money line. They have been the hotter team as of late, winning 8 of their past 10 games, including their past 4. The Mariners are starting George Kirby, who has been solid on the season, but he has a 7-7 record, and the team has struggled behind him on the road. I think the Astros will jump on him early and win this game handily at home. I expect this game to be relatively high scoring, with the Astros winning by more than 1 run. Taking the over in this game for a couple of reasons. More than likely the total will be under double digits, around 9 or 9.5, which these teams should cover fairly easily. The Astros have performed well on their road stretch and now enjoy the luxury of playing at home, which will benefit the batters significantly. They face a mediocre pitcher in George Kirby and could very well cover the total themselves if it came down to it. Don't count the Mariners out, however. The Astros have yet to announce who will even start the game for them, so I would expect a variety of arms to be used and runs to be scored. Expect a high-scoring affair as this game climbs over any given total. Take the over. Kansas City Royals vs Cleveland Guardians. The Royals dropped 2 straight games heading into Wednesday and were 3-6 over their last 9 games. In losing their first 2 games at Minnesota, they were outscored 17-7 and had 14 total hits. Through 86 games, Kansas City's offense had pushed out just 668 hits, tied for 6th fewest overall, and they've scored just 326 runs, 2nd fewest. Bobby Witt Jr. picked up 2 hits in Tuesday's loss, making it 5 straight games with a hit for the shortstop, with 4 of those games being 2-hit efforts. His batting average has risen 10 points to .254 in that span. The Guardians split their first 2 games against Atlanta at home this week and have gone 4-6 over their last 10 games. Their last 2 wins have come in extra innings, and they have played 4 extra innings tilts over their last 9 games. Cleveland's pitchers have combined for a 3.85 team ERA, which was good enough for 5th best in the American League. Bibee is making his 13th start of the year for Cleveland, in search of a 4th straight win and 5th in 6 starts. In his last 3 starts, he allowed a combined 4 earned runs and 13 hits, while striking out 22 over 16.2 innings. The Guardians have been the better team in recent matchups, winning 2 of 3 games against the Royals just a week ago. The Royals' losses in that series came by an average of 7 runs per game, and their last 4 losses have been by at least 4 runs. I think the Guardians will continue their dominance in this game, and I would recommend betting on them with the run line. The Royals are a bad team, and the Guardians have been playing well. The Guardians have won their last 4 games, and they are 5-1 in their last 6 games against teams with a win percentage under .400. I think the Guardians will win this game by more than 1 run. When these two played just 1 week ago, they averaged a combined 8.3 runs per game. Just 1 of those games went over, and all of those games have a total of 9. KC did get their offense going a bit versus the Dodgers, scoring 6 and 9 runs in respective games. However, they've come back in their series with the Twins. Cleveland hasn't been knocking the cover off the ball either and scored 2 runs and 3 runs in separate games against the Royals last week. The under is 17-4-1 in the Guardians' last 22 games against the AL Central. Take the under.